Hello and welcome to this presentation. We are going to go through and look at my technology implementation plan, also known as your TIP, type of reflective of this project. So as we go into it, we are going to look at 4 different parts, and I put in a little table of contents here for you. The first part is action plan, second part is needs assessments, third part is the planning process, the fourth part is implementation, and the fifth part is the executive summary. So let's go ahead and look at the first part, which again is going to be the action plan. So before going into the basis of the action plan, I kind of set around the majority of this TIP towards Philippians 3:13, which states, "Brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of, but one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead of you." So basically, just going and grow and learning from every and all experiences that will unfold. And students can do this by learning from their peers, from their teachers, just knowing that whatever they do can't hold them back, type of scenario. And that kind of correlates throughout the whole TIP. That the students can grow and learn no matter what happens. So looking at the action plan as a whole, it basically is the section that states the mission statement, goals and strategies of this TIP, and stuff like that. So my mission basically is that the students be able to use the tools that they are given throughout this tip and grow their knowledge based on the state standards. And the goals that I have is that students can use flexible seating with their individualized Chromebooks within a safe and effective learning area. The second one is using Moza Max Science or SumDog websites to help develop and extend those academic understandings. And then the third one would be using Microsoft Excel to be able to reflect on their work ethic and their grades and academics and stuff like that to know and develop that reflection early on. Now, my own reflection from this section is that I found that it is important for the growth within the class. All right, so when the class grows as a whole, you can see who is growing individually. And that my goals could also maybe include a teacher-oriented one. So all 3 of my goals are student-focused, which this is the main part of the project or presentation. But maybe throwing in a teacher one in there to help them out so they can meet the students' needs. And then the integration of this action plan is that it just plays into the planning, the needs assessment, the implementation throughout the whole entire project. Now going into part 2, we're going to look at the needs assessment. Sorry. All right. So overall, the needs assessment focuses on the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, and needs analysis within this project. The one strength that I found within my classroom that's focusing on is that it's departmentalized. So each teacher has a main focus, whether it's ELA or math/science. Each teacher can focus on one subject. That and the fact that there is a projector or smart board type technology within each class. One of the weaknesses I found is that the school I'm at is a Title I school, so we don't have that many opportunities for funding. We get what we get from federal, but other than that, there's not much else we can do. So going on to the reflection part of that, it made me realize and appreciate the materials that we do have, because we are a Title I school, and how that affects the technology that we have, the technology tools, and how they can meet each of the students' learning needs. Now, going into the integration, the needs assessment just takes all aspects of this section and focuses what is best for the students and what the students would need in order for each and every student to meet those needs that they have. And like I said again, Philippians 3:13 ties into this. No matter the students' needs, they can grow from what they learn, and that. So we're going to go ahead and move on and look at the third part, which is the planning process. So overall, it focuses on the goals and strategies that are aligned with state standards. There's also engagement, application tools, and the results of that are discussed within this section. I am currently in North Carolina, so I looked and used North Carolina state standards as well as the ISTE standards. So it's a little different than most people because a lot of people, or at least the example used Virginia. So looking back on that, I'm used to Virginia standards as I did all my schooling within Virginia. So that realizing that not all state standards are the same, and that the right technology tools can be used to match to the student's needs. So different strategies will meet different students' needs, and it was inviting and clearing up in my head to see what the different strategies I could use in order to meet each of those students' needs. Now, the planning process integration, it just basically is figuring out the right tools to relate to the standards, because this then again affects the engagements and the environments and results. So the better and safer environment you have, the more engaging the students may be, and the better results might form. If you have an environment that's the students don't like it, they don't feel safe or anything like that, they're not going to want to participate. They're not going to want to be engaged, which then can result in lower expectations than you thought. So then we're going to quickly look at the fourth part, which is implementation. The implementation focuses on the plan budget, professional development or PD, and the lesson plans, which in this TIP we did 2 lesson plans. From this, I took away that I never realized how much went behind PD, how much like they went through it, and how much like you kind of had to plan in order to get it where it could help the teachers out. And this is where it can kind of integrates into outside sources, is that the professional development can help teachers gain better knowledge to incorporate the tools that they're going for within the lessons, which then helps the students based off their needs. So like I said previously, different students have different needs. Different strategies are going to go to those needs. And when this within the implementation, the PD is broke down within the weeks, how many weeks you would think would be needed. The lesson plans are built down based off SOLs, different standards, objectives, materials, stuff like that, biblical principles. The 2 biblical principles that I kind of correlated with my lessons is Colossians 3:23, which is whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Basically, you can relate this to students by showing them that they work their hardest. It will prove in good outcomes. And the other one I have is Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Jesus Christ. Basically, those 2 are what I kind of incorporate into my lessons, just kind of to show that no matter what the students do, as long as they put effort in and go about each day with thankfulness and forgiveness and all those principles that they can achieve great things. So then we're going to go ahead and look at the last part 5, which is the executive summary. Executive summary focuses on, as an overview of this TIP and the crosswalk goals. So it just basically restates quickly what I went through previously, kind of like what this presentation is about. The reflection with this would be that the crosswalk, it was tricky for me at first, going looking at the crosswalk, simply because I didn't know much, because I'm new to North Carolina, about how my school matches up with the education technology that the state has for itself, and then how that relates to like the national plan or the IST plans. From this, I was able to get more insight, and it was really neat to see the comparisons. And then the integration for the executive summary is just that the crosswalk looks directly at how it affects the needs of the students' learning and teaching. Here are my references. I have 2 pages of references that I used for the TIP assignment. I did not use all these within this presentation, but I wanted to provide all of my background and resources I used for my actual project. Thank you for taking the time to listen and go through this presentation with me. I hope you have a good week. Thank you.